The Grumman A-6 Intruder. This American twin-jet all-weather attack aircraft saw service from 1963 all the way to its retirement by the U.S. Navy in 1997. 693 were built, and they excelled in a number of roles from aircraft refueling to bombing, which could include precision strikes and the delivery of nuclear weapons using toss bombing techniques. This is a well-loved plane to those who know its history. In the movies, however, it shows up in only a handful of places, though it's the star of one film, that being Flight of the Intruder, released in 1991, just as the aircraft was nearing retirement.
Well, I can tell this is going to be a real love affair. Brake left.
In the 1950s, the United States Navy was looking for an all-weather carrier-based attack aircraft, powered by jet engines, to succeed an already impressive propeller-driven aircraft, the Douglas A-1 Skyraider. The Skyraider was an excellent, robust ground attack aircraft, but its targeting system was not suited for use at night.
Dangler, roll in. Roll again.
The Intruder would make its first flight April 19, 1960. The A-6 would come to have major advantages over previous generations of attack aircraft of its kind, most notably an advanced interconnected avionics system. It was the first fighter-sized aircraft to have sophisticated avionics using multiple computers. The Intruder accommodated 2 crew members seated side by side, a pilot and a bombardier/navigator.
Hack. Bombs away!
The A-6 had a wingspan of 16.15 meters. Its empty weight was just over 12,000 kilograms. It had an excellent payload capacity of 8,840 kilograms. Combat range was just over 1,600 kilometers. Service ceiling, 12,900 meters. Maximum speed is 1,200 kilometers an hour at sea level. The A-6 would achieve the Navy's goal of finding a long-range strike aircraft with high subsonic performance at treetop heights, allowing for under-the-radar penetration of enemy defenses. The aircraft could find and hit small moving targets in any weather. The Intruder had excellent maneuverability, even with heavy loads.
Holy cow. My cap blew off. Swing around, we'll pick it up.
The most distinguished feature of the Intruder is likely the bulbous nose. This houses the large target acquisition and tracking radar, and a separate smaller terrain radar. The shape led to nicknames of the Flying Drumstick and Iron Tadpole, also the less kind Double Ugly. But inside, the Intruder had the most advanced cockpit, including CRT displays and the digital integrated attack and navigation equipment called Diane, critical to the Intruder's all-weather capability.
Velocities have gone bananas. It's either the navigational system or the computer.
Diane was considered the most capable navigation attack system of its era, though it had teething issues when introduced. Diane and its subsystems, incorporated into the aircraft, enabled the crew to attack pre-selected targets at night or under adverse weather conditions without having to look out the cockpit during the mission, from launch to recovery, though this was far less reliable in its early years.
The manual says to kick the son of a bitch, get the rotors going. State of the art.
The Intruder received its standardized US DoD designation of A-6A in the autumn of 1962 and entered squadron service in February of 1963. The A-6 became the US Navy's and US Marine Corps' principal medium, all-weather night attack aircraft from the mid-1960s through to the 1990s. In May of 1966, its role as a tanker was first tested, and the A-6 would be standardized as a tanker with a dedicated KA-6D version or by use of a buddy store system.
Vectoring 210 out.
The roles of the A-6 became increasingly hazardous during the Vietnam War, including the dangerous role of Iron Hand missions, the suppression of enemy anti-aircraft missiles.
Where is it? You got it? You see it? No, not yet.
These aircraft were fitted with anti-radar systems and anti-radiation missiles, which rode to their target on the emissions generated from seeking and tracking enemy radar systems.
We're the decoys. We get them to turn their radar on and shoot at us.
But then again, we get to shoot back and kill them with our missiles. That way, the bombers can have a pleasant, sand-free evening.
Flight of the Intruder, based on the best-selling book, highlights this dangerous role of hunting anti-aircraft targets. The film has an excellent cast, uses real and model A-6s, though more modern variants than Vietnam-era variants, and the movie is partially filmed on the USS Independence. Though the film sadly receives overall bad reviews due to a disjointed story, it's well worth a watch for Air Force and Navy enthusiasts, and does pay good tribute to the pilots who flew these important, but sometimes overlooked missions. Over the course of the Vietnam War, 10 intruders were shot down by surface-to-air missiles, while 56 were downed by conventional ground fire and anti-aircraft weapons.
Well, we're really raising hell with the jungle tonight, aren't we?
Upgrades continued throughout the Vietnam War, improving night capability, electronic warfare, and precision bombing. Precision bombing capabilities would continue to improve for the Intruder, which would not just see internal upgrades, but begin carrying more sophisticated laser and precision-guided ordnance. In the 1980s, a large portion of the fleet would begin to receive new wing assemblies due to combat and service life fatigue of the aircraft. A specialized derivative of the Intruder was the A-6B Prowler, retired in 2019. Its lengthened fuselage accommodates 2 additional electronics warfare officers. The Prowler had a pod on the tail which could house antennas, and underwing pods for jamming equipment.
Hey Sammy, how you doing out there, man? You enjoying yourself? How's the doc?
I think Mad Jack's asleep.
No, I'm not.
In the 1980s, the A-6 was called into service to Lebanon and was further used against targets in Libya. Its precision-guided capabilities were also extensively put to use in the first Gulf War, where 5,700 sorties were flown. The A-6 would again be used in Somalia in 92 and 93, with its last mission flown in Bosnia in 94. In the early 90s, the Navy wanted to streamline and standardize the types of aircraft serving aboard American carriers. F-14 Tomcats were given long-awaited ground attack capabilities on top of its role of fleet defense, which eventually made the A-6 redundant, though it wasn't long before the F-14 was also swapped for F-18 Hornets.
30150 confirmed. Sectors are all concurrent. You sure about that? I'm reading it right here, pal.
The last of the A-6 Intruders were officially retired February of 1997. Some of the aircraft awaiting re-winging were sunk off the coast of Florida to make an Intruder reef, while many of the refurbished ones made it into museums.
Now, I look out there at all of you wonderful guys and I say to myself, what I wouldn't give to be 20 years younger and a woman.
Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching this overview on the Flying Drumstick, what I think really is a beautiful aircraft, despite its nickname. I hope you have a nice rest of your day.